There it is, the view outside at the moment. It is a wonderful day. We are having the most amazing weather here in the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. We all know where it is. Of course, it is England. Welcome to another live stream. We are back together again. Hello there. Oh, nice to see you. To see you here right now. Hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I really hope you are happy today. The sun is shining. The sky is blue. There is not a cloud to spoil my view. And I hope it won't be spoiling your view here today. My name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I am an English addict. That's what it says on my t-shirt. And I'm not going to argue with it. I hope you are good, and I hope you will give me a lovely like to start off today's live stream. Give me a lovely thumb up to show that you like what you are seeing. And we've only been on for a few seconds, and already I'm asking for your likes. Thank you very much. So I live in England. I've been teaching English here on YouTube for a very long time. I will give you a clue. 2 years from now, it will be my 20th anniversary on YouTube. 2 years from now. So just over a year after YouTube was born, it was created, I arrived here on YouTube as well. It was a very different place. I can tell you right now, YouTube was a very different environment indeed. I hope you will stick with me, stay with me. Lots of things coming your way, of course. We have Mr. Steve coming up. I suppose I should give you your alert, warning. Call it what you want. Mr. Steve will be with us at around about 2:30. Steve will be here in what can only be described as a very hot studio. It is so hot in here at the moment. Even though outside we have lots of sunshine, according to the weather, the reading on my computer, it says 20 Celsius. However, when I went outside, it feels more like 28, to be honest. It is very brutal with the sun. We actually went out this morning. We went along to my favourite garden centre. In fact, it's one of those wonderful shops that sells everything. Maybe you have one near where you live. Do you have a shop somewhere near your house or in your town or city where you can buy almost anything? And I have to say, I love those types of shops. They don't just sell one thing or one type of thing. They sell literally everything. This is the most amazing shop, and it's not very far away from where we live. This morning I was very pleased because last week a rather annoying thing happened. One of my shoelaces snapped, and I think in life one of the worst things that can happen, especially when you are in a hurry, and especially for the men, because quite often men will have to lace their shoes. They will have to tie their shoelaces. And the most annoying thing is when you're in a hurry and one of your shoelaces snaps. It is incredibly annoying. And that happened to me last week. A pair of lovely boots that I have, one of the laces snapped, which made it very hard to tie the lace. However, this morning, thanks to the wonderful shop that is very close to where we live, They sell literally everything. They sell farming equipment. They sell feed for cows, sheep and horses. They sell cleaning products. They sell electrical products. They sell shoes. They sell boots. They sell bird food. They sell everything, including shoelaces. So I am very pleased that I was able to find some new shoelaces for my boots. Because if there's one thing that can inconvenience your day more than anything else, it is a broken shoelace. It is really, really annoying. So I have some lovely new shoelaces. The question again, do you have a shop somewhere in your town or city that sells everything? You can literally walk through the door and you can find the thing you want. You might not find it straight away, but eventually you will find the thing you want. So this particular place, I suppose I might name it. Shall I name it? Okay, it's called Cambers. Cambers. And it is the most amazing shop. It sells everything you can imagine. For animals, for farms, for your day-to-day life, for anything. It's incredible, including shoelaces, which I now have a new pair of. Very nice indeed. Thank you for joining me today. I've been here for a few minutes, so you haven't missed anything. If you've just joined me, hello there. Nice to see you back. Hello to the live chat. I suppose I should mention the live chat very quickly. I wonder who was first on today's live chat. Oh, very interesting. The champion is back at the top. Congratulations, Vitas. You are first today. Well done, Vitas. You are first on today's live chat. We also have Elaf. Hello, Elaf. Thank you very much for joining me. Valentin, Florence. Mr. Putin is here as well. Mr. Putin, you have been very busy, haven't you? Travelling around all over the place, meeting the leaders. We also have Palmyra. We also have Christina. We also have Sora Jamil. Hello to you. Thanks for joining me today on this wonderful sunny Sunday. It is incredible. We are having the most amazing weather. Looking out of the window, by the way. So this is the actual view looking outside right now. And you can see that beautiful yellow tree with its lovely petals. That particular tree is called a laburnum. And if you look closely, you can see bees. There are lots of little bumblebees flying around, gathering the pollen from the laburnum. You have to be careful, though, because the seeds, the actual seeds from this tree, are poisonous. So please don't eat laburnum seeds, because you will become very unwell. Hello, Marianne. Mr. Duncan, can you explain what it means to be fluent in English from your point of view? When we talk about fluent, we often mean a person has a certain standard or skill of doing something or understanding something. So for me, to be fluent means you are familiar with a certain thing. Maybe a certain task or a certain type of technology. You are able to do it. You understand it very well. So from my point of view, it might be not it might not be everyone's point of view, but for me, to be fluent is to understand something. You have an understanding of that thing. So maybe you can speak a certain language, but also you can understand the language. You have fluency. It means you can speak and also you can hear the language and you are very familiar with it. So from my point of view, fluency is understanding a particular thing and having the ability to understand it in day-to-day situations. So Marianne, I hope that helps you there. Beatrice, hello Beatrice. Are you excited? Because we are going to be meeting up in June with our super duper Roman holiday. I was trying to think of a phrase that I could use for the big get-together in Rome. And I think Roman holiday is a good one. So the big Roman rendezvous. Oh, that's a good one as well. Maybe we could have the Roman rendezvous. Oh, Mr. Duncan, we can almost hear the mechanism in your brain working as you are standing there. So we are meeting up in Rome at near the start of June. I will be giving you more details next Sunday about what is happening. So more details will be coming your way. And we have quite a few people joining us, by the way. We have around 9 people at the moment confirmed joining Mr. Steve and myself. So there will be around 11 or 12 people getting together. All I can say is I hope Italy is ready. That's all I can say. I hope you are prepared, because they are still cleaning up the mess in Paris, to be honest, after last year's rendezvous. They're still cleaning up the mess. I left so much chaos behind me. So all I can say is I hope that Rome is ready for us to get together. Very excited by it, and I hope you are as well, Beatrice. We also have, hello, Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Can I just mention something very briefly? Luis, thank you very much for getting in touch with me concerning one of our loyal viewers, also someone we met up with last year in Paris, Patrick. Patrick is not very well at the moment. If you met him last year, you will know he is a lovely guy, fun to be around, and we did have a lot of fun last year. Unfortunately, Patrick is not very well at the moment, so I hope we can all send him our best wishes. One of the worst things about any situation in life is being helpless, not having the ability to help someone who has difficulty or is in trouble. So please, a big hello to Patrick. Just in case you are watching, we are all here for you. We are behind you 100%, and we send you our best wishes. Valentin, hello Valentin. Thank you very much for joining me as well today. Zutzika is here. Florence. That is interesting because Florence, of course, is in Italy. We might go to Florence after we've spent some time in Rome. So we are staying in Rome for 4 days, but then we are going somewhere else. Mr. Steve and myself, we are going to another part of Italy to basically wind down, relax, and take it easy, because it has been a rather stressful year, to say the least, for many reasons. So we are hoping to explore some other parts of Italy as well. We might be going to Florence. We might go and have a look at Michelangelo's David for no reason, really. Maybe I just happen to have an interest in sculpture. Nothing else. And yes, I might go up and pat him on the bottom and get my tape measure out. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. Hello also to... Sorry about that. I do apologise. I'm very excited today. I'm excited because I've been outside enjoying nature, and also I am very, very excited because we are going to be meeting up in Rome. very soon. Who else is here? Claudia. Hello, Claudia. It's nice to see you here today on the live chat. How are things in Argentina? Tom is here. Hello, Tom. Tom rocks. Hello to you. I hope you are feeling good today. Dave. Hello, Dave. Dave is a very common name in English. There are lots of Davids and lots of Daves. So quite often we will shorten the name David to Dave. It's a bit like Mr. Steve, really. Mr. Steve is often referred to as Stephen by his family. But in general day-to-day life, people call Stephen Steve. And yes, Mr. Steve will be with us in around about 9 minutes from now. I wonder what he has been up to. I can tell you something about Mr. Steve today. He's been incredibly busy. Because you know what it's like at this time of year when the weather gets better, you often find there are lots of little jobs that need doing outside the house. So that's what Mr. Steve is doing today. He's outside, being very busy indeed. Hello to Dr. Panda. I love your name, by the way. Pandas are the most amazing creatures. However, they are not very good at mating. They are a little on the lazy side. Would it be unfair of me to say that pandas are a little bit lazy? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. So quite often, pandas will sit around, they will sleep a lot, and they will sit with their large bamboo, chewing on it all day. But it isn't very often you see baby pandas because they don't come along very often for various reasons. So thank you, Mr. Panda. Would you like to come to Niagara Falls in Canada? I will be honest with you. Mr. Steve has a relative. In fact, it's one of his nephews. He now lives in Canada and he's married to a lovely Canadian girl. And I would not be surprised in the future if myself and Mr. Steve, we might go to Canada at some point. And yes, I would really like to take a look at Niagara Falls. Definitely. Hello, Claudio. I can't wait to hear Mr. Steve's Italian today. If you remember last week, can I take you back in time to last Sunday? Mr. Steve was talking about Italian monuments, and he mentioned the Parthenon. Now, I didn't want to say anything at the time because I don't want to do that sort of thing to Mr. Steve. But, of course, the Parthenon is not in Italy. It is not. Maybe he was thinking of that other big thing, that other big monument. You know which one I mean, the big round one, the Colosseum. I think he was actually thinking of that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We will see what Mr. Steve has been doing with his Italian. Has Mr. Steve been learning some new words in Italian? We will find out later on. Who else? Marcia. Hello, Marcia. Hello, Jeff. Hello to Jeff. Jeff Her. I have a feeling you might be in China, Hong Kong, perhaps, maybe Taiwan. Please tell me if you are there or not. Saturino, hello Saturino. Yesterday, by the way, well, not yesterday, Friday, I cooked the most amazing meal for Mr. Steve. Yes, it was my aubergine and potato bake with lots and lots of garlic. And I think maybe I could be slightly obsessed with garlic. I have a feeling perhaps I might have a deep obsession with that, because I love eating it. I'm crazy about it. And all of that comes from my time when I was living in China, because you could buy garlic quite easily, and they would often put the garlic in vinegar, so they were pickled garlic. And I would sometimes buy a really large jar of pickled garlic, and I would go home and I would just sit and eat lots and lots of pickled garlic. So I might be a little bit obsessed with garlic. I know not everyone likes garlic. Some people say, Mr. Duncan, I cannot stand garlic, and I certainly don't like it on other people's breath. Well, all I can say is when we are in Italy, if you do meet us, make sure you don't stand too close if you don't like the smell of garlic, because I love it. And the good news is a lot of people in Italy also like garlic. So a lot of the food in Italy does contain garlic. Just like the French, they love garlic very, very much. And I was thinking yesterday, I was actually talking to Steve yesterday on our walk, and I said to Steve, imagine if there were other things that you could buy that tasted like garlic. For example, why don't they have garlic flavoured milk? Maybe you could put garlic into the milk and drink the milk and have the beautiful garlic taste at the same time. Does it exist anywhere? And if it does, where can I buy it? So you could have garlic. I was going to say, what else could you have? You could have garlic chocolate. What about chocolate that has little pieces of dried garlic inside? Would that go together? Do sweet things and garlic go together? All I can say is I love it. I love the smell of garlic. I love the smell when you are cutting the garlic, when you chop the garlic. I love to smell my fingers. Is that weird? Is it weird? Maybe just a little bit. But whenever I'm cutting garlic or preparing garlic, I always like to have a little sniff of my fingers as well, because it is absolutely lovely. What about you? Do you like garlic? Is there a certain type of food that you would like to have garlic in? So I was thinking of garlic milk, maybe garlic smoothie. Maybe you could make a smoothie. You could put lots of fruit and vegetables into a drink and mix it all together. And maybe you could put a little bit of garlic in it as well. I've never seen it. I've never seen garlic smoothie. And I've definitely never seen garlic milk ever, anywhere. Mr. Steve will be here. Here is your warning or your alert. Here is the signal that tells us that Mr. Steve will be with us in a few moments from now. In fact, he will be with us in around about 3 minutes from now. Please don't go away, because we have a lot to talk about today. We are looking at words in English that are often confusing. People often confuse certain words with each other, or sometimes they don't know the difference between those words. And that is what we are doing today. So please, don't go away. they the most beautiful animals? The lovely cows. Sadly, at the moment, we don't have any cows at the back of the house. I don't know why, but everything is quiet. Everything is silent in the field at the back of the house. Welcome, everyone. This is English Addict on a Sunday afternoon. Oh, yes, we are doing it. We are here. We are live. We are all over the place, in fact. Talking of being all over the place, here is a guy who has been very, very busy. He has been outside enjoying the sunshine, but he hasn't been relaxing in the sun. He's been working very hard. I think you know who I'm talking about. I think you know who it is I am referring to. Of course, it is the one, the only, Mr. Steve.
Oh, Mr. Duncan. Hello. Yes, hello, wonderful, beautiful viewers from across the globe. I love you all. Well, maybe not all of you, but certainly some of you. And yes, I've been very busy, as Mr. Duncan says. I'm hot, Mr. Duncan. I've been gardening. I've been repointing steps. We've been lugging sandbags around.
Yes. You have been outside looking for all of the things that need doing because the weather has suddenly got better. You know what it's like. I think everyone has this feeling. They suddenly feel like things need doing. And that's what you've been doing outside. So Steve at the moment has been very industrious. Oh, now there is a good word, by the way. To be industrious means to be busy, to be working. You are always doing something non-stop.
I've got a list of jobs, Mr. Duncan. I've written them all down. Jobs that need to be done before we go to Italy.
Yes.
Basically, time is running out. We've got lots to do. We've got to plan the trip when we're in Italy. I can't come back and have weeds growing everywhere. They are literally, you can see them grow. You could sit out there with a cup of tea, Mr. Duncan, and watch them literally grow.
Well, can I just say, Steve, I don't know about you, but in all of the years we've lived here, we've been here now for just over 11 years, I think this particular summer, I've never seen everything look so lush and vibrant. It's incredible.
Christina says I look a little red. Yes, that's because I'm hot.
Yes.
And I've been in the garden. I've been doing, you know what it's like when winter is finished. If you live in a country where there are distinct seasons, then obviously in the winter you get a bit unfit because you can't do the normal jobs that you do in the summer. So all those jobs where you have to dig, where you have to sort of do weeding and be in strange positions, muscles that you haven't used for 5 months suddenly start to complain, and that's what's happening. And it is hot. It must be, I would say, 28 degrees in this studio, Mr. Duncan, because you've got all the hot fans going.
Well, it is hot in here because it is a studio and it's full of equipment and lights. It's although outside apparently it's only 20 degrees, but it feels a lot hotter than that in the sun.
When you're in the sun, yes.
I think so. Talking of the garden, the other night I went out. I couldn't resist going into the garden the other night and filming the wonderful rhododendron. It has come out in its full glory. Would you like to have a look at it? So there it is. It looks amazing now, Steve. So all of the lovely buds have now come out and you can see the beautiful radiant flowers. And I don't think I've ever seen this rhododendron look so amazing.
I don't think you've caught it at its best there, Mr. Duncan. There's even more. You can't see any leaves today. Everything's burst out. Maybe if you took maybe we can show a different picture next week.
Yes,
But I think
the problem is by next week it's probably going to be all gone.
it'll all be gone. Yes.
That looks amazing. Doesn't that just look incredible? So that was the other night. That was the other evening I took that particular shot. But I have to say, it does look incredible. And I love the colour. But as I mentioned just, Steve, everything this year appears to have gone crazy because we've had a very mild winter and also a very wet spring rather. So spring is being rather wet and mild. We had a little bit of frost, but not much. And because of that, I think a lot of the plants, a lot of the flowers have gone absolutely, incredibly crazy, including this rhododendron.
We've had so much rain, of course, that now the hot weather is here. It is perfect conditions for the plants to grow. It's always this period, whereas if you don't get on top of the weeds now, it's going to be a very big job later on. So anyway, it happens every year. We forget around this sort of May time. You've got to get out there and do things. Yes, and Lewis, of course, as we know, does lots of exercise. Yes, I do lots of exercise all the time, running and cycling or whatever. But the thing is, the muscles that you need to do, you can get very fit running and cycling and walking, but they're not the muscles that you have to use when you go digging in the garden or weeding, bending over, your back starts to ache. But anyway, happens every year.
Yes.
And then by sort of July, I'm as fit as a fiddle, as they say. There's a good expression. As fit as a fiddle, as we say. It means you're very fit. A fiddle is like a, violin. I think I did that right. There we go. Any violin players? Is that about right? But yes, we're having fun. We've got jobs to do. And we've got to sort out the trip, where we're going to go, what we're going to do. I think, actually, for those of you who are living in Italy and know about tourist sites in Italy, a bit of advice would be useful. But I think I've been reading around and you can get a tourist pass.
Yeah.
And that will give us access to most of the sites in Rome. So you buy this, you pre-buy this pass,
Okay.
and then you don't have to buy any tickets when you go.
Right.
You buy it before you go. I think you have to book the dates when you want to go.
Why are you
to
mentioning this?
Pardon?
Why are you mentioning this?
Well, I'm just mentioning it because people who are watching us who live in Rome can advise us, you see. And
well, I've already looked.
I know. Well, I'm just I know you. I know you've looked. I've looked, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, I tell you what. No, you know what, Steve? Forget about the monuments. What I'm interested in is the food.
Oh, you're going to say the men?
Where is the best place to eat the Italian food? And I've already had a warning from someone who said, "Be careful, because some of the restaurants are just for the tourists. The food isn't very good." So we do have to be careful. I think you have to go around the back streets and the places that are away from the tourists.
Wow.
And then you can find the more authentic Italian food.
We'll have Christina, we'll have Francesca, we'll have many other people who are native to Italy and know Rome very well, and they will be able to say, no, don't go there, let's go to this little secret one I know down a back alley where all the locals go, and it's fabulous food. I'm sure it'll be fabulous food everywhere, but as we discovered in Paris,
no, some of it's rubbish apparently.
Some of it isn't. Even in Paris, we went to some, if you go to the tourist areas, you get served food which you just know isn't very good. But anyway, we'll be fine, I'm sure.
But that's the bit of advice I've received, is to be careful where you eat. And also, I suppose another thing we should mention, because we are going to Italy in just 3 weeks from now, around 3 weeks. Can you believe it? It's come around so fast. And I suppose the big question is, how is your Italian, Mr. Steve?
Well, people have been asking on here, Mr. Duncan. They've been saying, have I learnt any Italian? Well, I've learnt a bit, definitely. I've been on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I've learnt about the vowels, because the Italian language, from what I've discovered, is all about the vowels. The vowels are very important, not the bowels. The vowels are used a lot in Italian. There's a lot of similarities. E, I, O, U.
Yes, there's a lot of expressive mouth movement with Italian. It is. Well, I'm just about to. Can I just? Yeah, yes, it's the R and E and A. Yes, you're right, Steve.
Although I've discovered that the E vowel and the O vowel have both closed and open. So I've got to go E and I and O and O, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have learnt some Italian. The useful phrases, Mr. Duncan, that I think I'm going to need.
Okay. So have you got them now?
I've put some phrases together, Mr. Duncan, and I think these are going to be very important for what I want when I go to Italy, Mr.
Okay.
Duncan.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Per la gloria d'adoravi, voglio amarvi o luccicare. Per la gloria d'adoravi, voglio amarvi o luccicare.
Wait there, Steve.
Yeah,
Steve,
so there we go. I'm going to need that phrase, definitely.
Are you just reading from one of your operas?
I'm also going to need Alma del Core, Spirito del Alma, Ama del Core, Spirito del Alma, Sempre costante, t'adoravi, t'adoravi. Yes, they're sort of, well, I'm cheating, Mr. Duncan.
What? So
These are phrases from my 24 Italian songbook.
I thought maybe you were just reading out a bit of opera.
But basically, I'm going to need all the love talk, aren't I, Mr. Duncan?
But
I'm going to need to be able to express myself in a very sort of passionate way.
Yeah.
When I meet all those lovely Italian men.
Okay,
Forget
then.
food, forget, what's the way to the bus stop. I just need to be able to, talk about passionate love, Mr. Duncan, when I'm there.
Yeah. Can I just say that all sounds rather creepy? If I imagine I will be coming back from Italy on my own, and Mr. Steve will be serving a long, long time in one of those Italian prisons, which I have a feeling might be his aim.
Yeah, this is very old Italian, so if I start, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's it's old-fashioned Italian, I think. But anyway, I was sort of just joking, really.
Can you stop throwing things around?
It doesn't matter.
But it does.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, okay, Steve. Nitram, I agree with you. It did sound as if Steve was a little bit possessed. I thought I was going to have to call a priest.
I think I'd need to be expressive. If you're Italian, you've got to be expressive. Anyway, I've learnt some basic stuff.
Yes.
And I'm going to pick up 10 for... I'm going to end up learning... Oh, actually, by the way, in this particular website, on YouTube, on this YouTube site...
It's on here. It's on right here on YouTube.
Yeah, the person teaching Italian said, listen to Italian, go on to Italian QVC channel and just listen to people speaking Italian. Newsreaders, sort of broadcasters, because they will be speaking very good Italian. And then you can sort of pick up the lingo, as we say, the expressiveness, and you'll see the products and get some idea.
Yeah.
Just let it seep into you. Passive listening.
Yes, very good.
And so that's
okay, Steve. I've got to sometimes talk. By the way, that is one of the things about going to another country. And if you are interested in another language, I always say that it is good to immerse yourself in another language. And if you learn some of the language, and then one of the things I find that is very useful when you visit a place that has a different language from your own is, of course, the signs around you in the street. It is amazing. Even simple things like that, you eventually absorb the language in very small amounts. not large amounts. So all of that information is not going in all at once. But I think once you start to live in a place where the language is different, I think you can slowly pick up and learn and absorb things. That is why many people like to come here to the UK to spend a little bit of time living here around native English speakers, because it gives them a chance to immerse themselves in the language.
Yes, I've got to learn the basic vowels and consonants. Not all the consonants that we use in English are used in Italian, but that doesn't matter. And I've learnt that the vowels... Yeah, anyway, we won't go into that. But yes, I want to learn the basics and then get some phrases going.
Yes.
The problem's going to be is I'm not probably going to be able to speak it fast enough, and I won't be able to understand, because it'll probably sound like I'm speaking in slow motion to Italian people.
So just like your English, really.
Well, that's it, you see. We pick it up. We speak at a certain pace, just as Italians would. So when you're learning, it's going to be difficult to understand. So we're going to have to ask our friendly Italian people that we're meeting up with to speak very slowly to us.
Alonso says there are almost 17 different accents in Italian, which doesn't surprise me, because Italy, don't forget, Italy is a huge country. And over the years, it was separated into different, I suppose you would say, different sections or different districts or areas. So you will find whenever that happens, you do have what we call break-off accents or break-off ways of using the language. And this is normal. This happens also in the UK. You can hear English spoken in very different ways as you move around. Even England, even our tiny little country, there are many different ways of using the language, many different accents. I think there's more than 17 English accents. I think it might be hundreds, to be honest.
We'll get by.
There are so many different ways of speaking English. Something else I want to mention briefly, Steve. A couple of weeks ago, we went to Birmingham. I was asked if it would be possible to talk briefly about Birmingham, so I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. So this is the second city, by the way. After London, we have Birmingham, and there it is. There is part of the skyline of Birmingham, and it's not too bad. I have to say, I think Birmingham still needs to do a lot of work and a lot of reconstruction. Now here you can see this is the railway station, the main railway station in Birmingham, called Grand Central, and the station itself is called New Street Station. But as you can see, it looks amazing. They have done so much work on this particular part of Birmingham. However, I think it would be fair to say that there is still a lot of work that needs doing. There are a lot of parts of Birmingham that still look a little rough, let's just say. And there, look at the size of that. There is a huge bull in the shopping area of New Street Station, and every 15 minutes it will come alive and start making a sound, which alarmed me a little bit, to be honest, Steve.
So why is there a bull there, Mr. Duncan?
Because, well, formerly that was known as the Bull Ring.
Oh, yes.
And that is the reason why. And to give you another flavour of the centre of Birmingham, this is also one of the new shopping centres. When I say new...
You mean the one on the left?
When I say new, I think this was built around maybe 20 years ago. And there, if you look, there is a Vietnamese restaurant. A Vietnamese restaurant. There are many restaurants selling Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food, and even Italian food. Look, there's a Pizza Hut and also a Nando's. So there you can see just a brief glimpse of the centre of Birmingham. So this particular part of Birmingham looks quite nice. However, as I mentioned a few moments ago, there is still a lot of work that Birmingham needs to do. And one of the problems at the moment is the council recently went bankrupt. They have no money, which is very inconvenient.
They've run out of money and they've doubled everybody's local taxes.
Yes.
Council tax, as we call it here.
Yeah, so it has caused quite a few problems. So I would say that Birmingham has, well, I suppose it did suffer during the 1970s because it did become a little bit run down, a little bit old-fashioned. A lot of the buildings were starting to look worn and dirty. And so slowly Birmingham is changing. But I think the recent situation with them having no money to spend might also slow that process down a little bit more as well.
Birmingham isn't known for being a particularly picturesque city.
No.
It has to be fair. You've made it look quite acceptable on those pictures, but it always depresses me a bit going to Birmingham. I probably shouldn't say that, but it's not particularly attractive city if you're used to Rome, Paris,
well,
places like that, London.
I would say the one thing I will say, Steve, in all seriousness, is I felt a lot more relaxed and safe walking around London than I did walking around Birmingham. That's all I'm saying. You can make of that what you want. You can interpret that however you want. But I felt much safer walking around London than I did walking around Birmingham.
If you were, put it this way, viewers, if you were visiting England, you would not put Birmingham on your list of tourist places to go. You wouldn't.
Yes.
You wouldn't.
I think from a historical point of view, so when we talk about the historic or the historical importance of Birmingham, of course it was one of the birthplaces of the Industrial Revolution, including the area in which we live now as well. So the birth of the Industrial Revolution did start in that area, Birmingham, also around here in Shropshire, and I suppose also Manchester as well. So those places have a very historic importance or historical importance when it comes to the development of not just this country but the world. But I do feel as if Birmingham still has a long way to go before it looks nice.
And it's not going to get any nicer anytime soon.
No.
Because they've run out of money. They're bankrupt. The council's bankrupt. So all projects have stopped. But as I said, you wouldn't go there unless you knew somebody that lived there. You wouldn't.
No.
Trust me on that.
Yes, I think so.
You would. You'd be wasting. Yeah. Anyway, right.
Okay, Steve. We'll have a quick break. I want to drink some water because I am so hot. We are talking about words and phrases. Words, generally in English, that often cause confusion amongst people. Not only people learning English, by the way, but also native English speakers as well. So even we, as native English speakers, often get words confused, and it does happen. Probably more often than you realise. All of that coming up in a few moments. Don't go away. This is English Addict. Looking forward to going on holiday very soon. We are going to Italy in around about 3 weeks from now. English Addict is with you today. It is me, and it's also Mr. Steve. Are you okay, Mr. Steve? He's a little bit tired because he's been very busy. Also, can I just mention, I have been very busy as well, walking, getting fit. I have lost a little bit of weight already. I can feel that my trousers are getting a little looser.
Didn't you say earlier, Mr. Duncan, that your finger doesn't go so far on your belly button anymore?
It is true.
So that means you're losing weight.
You know where your belly button is? It's there, that little thing in the middle, down there. That little thing, that little hole. That is the thing that connects you to your mummy when you were in her tummy. And, well, I noticed that if I've got a lot of weight, my finger will go in.
All the way in, Mr. Duncan? Which knuckle?
No, just a finger. But now I've noticed that my finger does not go in, so it's very near the surface.
Disgusting.
Which means everyone does it. Everyone does it. Everyone. If you're lying in bed in the morning and you have nothing else to do, you will often have a little touch and a feel, just to see, make sure everything's all right. It's very good for your health, apparently. So I always like to put my finger inside my belly button.
You shouldn't reveal these things, Mr. Duncan. You really shouldn't.
It's all right. Everyone does it. I think it's one of the most interesting parts of the body because everyone has a different belly button. Some people have them, they're very deep. Some people have them, they're very shallow. And some people have their belly button and it pops out. It comes out at the front. Have you ever seen one of those?
Have you got an inner or an out? Yeah, some people, they don't chop enough of the cord off, do they? For people whose belly buttons stick out, it just means they haven't cut off enough of the umbilical cord. But anyway, we don't go into that.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting part of the body because you have to make sure as you get older you have to feel everything. You have to touch here and here and in other places as well, just to make sure nothing unusual is going on. Nothing that wasn't there before is now there. You have to make sure of that. So I don't think putting your finger inside your belly button is a bad thing.
I think we've spoken enough about that, Mr. Duncan.
I think it's a great way to spend the morning.
Francesco, or is it Francesco? You see, I should know that. Is the C pronounced with a ch? It depends probably whether it's before a vowel or not. I'm going to go Francesco. I'm probably wrong, but please tell me if that is correct. Birmingham is the city where Peaky Blinders was filmed.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yes. The gangs.
Nothing to boast about, really.
The gangs.
If you're a city.
They were the gangs. I think it's all. I don't think it's well. I think they were real, but a lot of the stories are just exaggerated, as they often are for dramatic purposes. I think so.
Yes, if your city is using that as a boast to advertise its city, then you probably know that there isn't much else to boast about. That gives you an idea.
Yeah, okay. In America, they often use one city to stand in for another city. I think Los Angeles is often used, but I think quite often they will film in other places as well, like Seattle. So Seattle apparently is very popular for filming movies as a location, and sometimes they will pretend that is another place. Also Los Angeles as well, and San Francisco. So quite often these cities will stand in for other cities for various reasons, normally because of cost, or maybe they might get a little bit of allowance on their tax, you see. Yes, very nice. We have, I think it might be Francesca, Francesca. Yes, I think so. I think you might be right, Steve.
Chestnut. Yes, that's good.
I think
Yes.
so. Mr. Steve, I have an obsession at the moment.
Yes.
I have two obsessions. One of them is putting my finger in my belly button, but the other one is I love it when Mr. Steve does that face. I love it. The other obsession is garlic. I am absolutely crazy about garlic. I don't know why, but over the past couple of weeks I have reignited. I have become familiar once again with this beautiful root. Look at that. I just want to reach into the screen there and take some of that garlic and eat it. It's just the most amazing thing. Although not everyone likes garlic, do they, Steve?
They don't. I like garlic. Let me just... You see that on the screen there? That's a whole bulb, is it? With all those individual little...
Yes, there it is. Look, I've got one.
Well, you see that? See that Mr. Duncan's holding up there? Mr. Duncan puts two of those in when he cooks his eggplant, cheese, potato bake. He doesn't just put a few of the individual little ones. He puts the whole bulb in.
Yes. So I put two of these in the meal. Now, Steve said that I made him ill last week.
Gave me stomach ache.
It gave him a bad stomach, unfortunately. But I'm crazy about garlic. But as I was saying to you yesterday, Steve, on our walk, it would be lovely if they had lots of different things that had the flavour of garlic, such as garlic milk. Can you imagine that? If you had milk and in the milk you had mixed in, you had garlic, and you could drink the milk and take the garlic at the same time. I think that would be amazing. I really do.
Some people can't take garlic. Christina says that she finds it hard to digest.
Oh.
My mother was the same. She didn't like garlic. It would make her, let's just say, it would make her run to the toilet. Let's leave it at that. It used to have that effect on her. But my father used to love garlic, and he always used to put in too much because he liked it, and Mum would always say, I hope you haven't put too much garlic in the food because it'll make me ill, give me a stomach ache.
Yeah.
And Dad always put far too much in. I mean, it was fine for me, but not for Mum.
Well, that's strange, you see. So maybe you have the same problem. Maybe you have inherited your stomach thing.
Well, no, I'm fine with garlic. I think what you do, putting two of those giant ones in, is probably more than most people could stomach. If you can't stomach something, it means you can't deal with it. I can't stomach that person. I can't stomach Bill, you could say. If I can't stomach Irene, it means you just can't. They upset you. You
Yes.
don't like them.
Yes. You can't stand it. You can't take it. You can't
You
ingest
can't take it.
You can't ingest that thing.
Nitram says that garlic is not popular in Romania.
Oh, I wonder why.
So that's a country off your wish list straight away, Mr. Duncan.
Maybe
I'm
they're all
afraid we won't be going to Romania now, Nitram, because future meetups, because there's people aren't eating garlic.
Well, maybe they are all vampires.
Well, I was going to say, because Romania is quite near to Transylvania,
Yeah.
you would have thought garlic would be very popular.
Maybe it has something to do with vampires, because vampires don't like garlic.
Oh, we need to go to Turin, because there is a dish based olive oil and lots of garlic called bagna cauda. Oh no, that can't be right. Cauda. It'll be cauda, because you've got to pronounce all the vowels and all the consonants.
Bagna
Cauda. Is that correct? Have I pronounced that correctly?
I think the
Bagna
G.
cauda.
I think the G is silent. Bagna.
Bagna cauda.
Bagna cauda.
Silent G.
Yes, we will see what happens anyway.
Bagna cauda. So you've been secretly learning Italian, have you, Mr. Duncan?
Well, a little bit. I just want to take a bite out of that garlic.
What's Italian for garlic? Is it the same as the English for garlic?
We looked at it last week, if you remember.
The Italian for garlic?
Yes, somebody told us last week what the Italian is for garlic.
Maybe they can tell us again, because that's a word Mr. Duncan is going to need to know.
All I need is more garlic.
You're going to need to know what it looks like written down,
okay,
and what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I just need to be able to say more garlic. That's all. Nothing else. That's the only phrase I'm going to need to learn.
More garlic.
More garlic. Not less garlic, more garlic. Definitely.
Alio. Presumably, if we're not pronouncing the G, it's alio.
Alio.
I don't know where the emphasis is, because you're difficult to know where the emphasis is in a word.
Good.
It is, yeah. Is it alio or aglio? Alio.
Okay, Steve.
We've got to learn.
This is becoming less.
We're always teaching people English. We need to be taught Italian.
This is becoming less than scintillating. Hello, also Franco. Franco is here as well. A simple yet delicious dish is pasta with oil, garlic, and chili peppers. I don't like chili peppers, but I do like the rest of that. So, a lot of olive oil as well. Olive oil with garlic, Steve.
Well, olive oil, of course, delicious. We put olive oil in everything. I even put it in the bread, which is, I like putting olive oil in the bread. I don't put butter in. I put olive oil in because it makes it very soft. And olive oil's gone up in price a lot, hasn't it, Mr. Duncan?
Why is olive oil so expensive? It's more expensive than petrol.
It's about £10 a litre. I think it's more than that. So a little bottle like that, yes, a litre of olive oil in the UK now is around £10.
£10?
Which is probably about €12.
So it's more expensive than filling your car up with petrol.
For a small, well, yes. Yeah, what's a litre of petrol? I can't remember now in the UK. About
Steve.
£4 something pounds. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a litre of olive oil is around €12 in the UK now.
So it would be cheaper to put petrol on your salad, but I don't advise that you do it. But it's probably cheaper to do it that way, but don't do it because it will taste awful. And also you might blow your salad up as well. We have an interesting subject coming up today, Steve. We are going to talk all about common mistakes or common confusions, because just like any language, whether it is French, German, Italian, Chinese or English, there can be confusing words that might come along and make everyone very, very confused. So we are talking about that in a few moments. Even British people, even English people often get confused with certain words, and they will use them by mistake or incorrectly again and again without ever being corrected. So we are talking about that. I think it's a very interesting subject.
Francesco says in Italy it's around €10 for a litre of olive oil. So not that much different. I thought it would be a lot less. So maybe it's not as expensive as we think.
But it has gone up in price, and I'm just wondering why. Maybe there is a scarcity. Maybe there is a shortage of olives.
Well, Lewis says it's the price of oil has doubled in France in the last 2. Everything's gone up. Everything's gone up in price since the pandemic. And I don't think everything's gone up. I've noticed that jars of jam are much smaller now.
Well,
at some point they changed what used to be 425 grams a pot of jam to 300 and something, and everything comes in smaller sizes now.
Yeah.
But the cost's the same.
They call it, you know what they call it? They call it shrinkflation.
Yeah.
Shrinkflation is where you make something smaller, but you sell it for the same price or even sometimes more than it was before.
So why has olive oil gone up in price? Do we know why?
I haven't heard many people talk about this either. A lot of people on the internet will complain about it, but I don't know the actual reason. I haven't seen anything even in the news about why olive oil is so.
Have crops failed? Are they using olive oil for making something else that we don't know about? Maybe they're trying to make biofuel with it or something. But I wonder why. If anyone knows, please tell us. We'd like to know. It's nothing to do with anything about today's subject, but we would just like to know.
Je ne sais pas, as we say in French.
I'm thinking it might be crop failures, but I wouldn't have thought all over Europe.
Well, yeah.
Mind you, maybe it's the heat. We don't know.
No.
But if somebody does, please let us know.
Yes, it's very interesting. But as you say, I think it is part of the increase in the price of everything. Oh, by the way, guess whose birthday it is today, Steve?
Oh, I did see earlier.
Ooh.
Let me... Oh, I'm not going to remember. I did see earlier. Whose birthday is it today, Mr. Duncan?
A famous person.
Oh, I thought you meant on the live chat.
No, not a famous.
Somebody.
Oh, just let me get to the end of the sentence. A famous person is celebrating a birthday today, Steve. She is a style icon. She is a person who made a very big impact in the 1980s with her musical style.
1980s?
She had a big hit with a French song as well. Also, she was discovered at Studio 51, the place where all the famous and the rich and the glamorous, they all hung out. And that is where she was discovered. Today, celebrating her 76th birthday. I'll give you a clue. Slave to the rhythm.
Oh, right, okay.
Slave to the rhythm.
Oh, I can't remember her name. I can see her. She was in a Bond film, wasn't she?
She was. The Living Daylights. It was.
Don't tell me.
Oh,
don't tell me.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I don't think anyone's going to just sit and watch us trying to work this out. Just look at the live chat.
Yes, Grace Jones. Oh, I was wondering how long it would take you to get that.
Thank you, Nitram.
Well done.
Thank you, Nitram. Grace Jones is 76. And can I just say, she still looks incredible. She still looks great. I've seen some recent pictures of Grace Jones, and she still looks amazing. I think one of her secrets, of course, is not putting on weight. So she's always stayed quite slim, and I think she does have quite an active health regime as well. But
there is a phrase, and I'm going to use it. It's not racist, because I've got a black friend,
okay.
And she looks beautiful. And she always jokes to me and says, because she's got, she's probably in her 50s, and she looks, I would say, in her 30s. And whenever I say to her, "Oh, you look incredible for your age," she always says to me, "Black doesn't crack," meaning that black skin tends to stay looking a lot younger than white skin. But that's the phrase she always uses to me. And in fact, I've got black friends in Birmingham, and they would say the same thing as well.
You are saying that quite a lot now.
Well, I don't, but that, that's what they say, that they like,
Well, good night, everyone. Goodbye.
But I'm looking for a phrase.
Goodbye, everyone.
That's what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not saying it anyway. It's a compliment.
I think it would sound better coming from a black person.
It's a compliment.
That's all I'm saying. But you are right. You are right. And
Yes.
I think Grace Jones, getting back onto the subject quickly, I think Grace Jones looks amazing. And she had a very big hit with a French song called Oh, okay. I was asking Steve. La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose. La Vie en Rose.
Well, shouting it just after I say it doesn't mean you know what it was. I've noticed this with you.
Ooh,
La Vie en Rose. It's a
Duncan.
beautiful song as well.
I've got an album, a Grace Jones album, and I play it sometimes.
Is it? What is it? The Best of Grace Jones?
I think it probably is.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's the Slave to the Rhythm album.
That's my favourite Grace Jones CD, by the way, is The Best of Grace Jones.
La Vie en Rose, yes. Yeah. Ooh, I nearly blocked somebody then by mistake, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, please don't block anyone. Hello,
I
Jimmy. Jimmy says Malcolm X is celebrating his birthday today. Well, he isn't actually celebrating it, but it is a day when we mark his birthday as well. So there you go. A lot of people celebrating their birthday. If it is your birthday, please let me know and say, Mr. Duncan, it's my birthday.
Well,
Although it's not my birthday.
It was Marcia's birthday at some point this week.
Okay.
Because Vitas has said happy belated birthday. So there's a good use of English.
So when was your birth? When was it?
Marcia Helena Miranda Cardoza Podesta.
When was it? Marcia, when was your birthday?
We should know that, of course. I'm sure Lewis will know. But happy birthday for you. It was Marcia's birthday this week. I think maybe we said happy birthday. Maybe somebody said that. And we said happy birthday last Saturday. And we've probably forgotten.
Well, we weren't on last Saturday, so...
I meant Sunday.
Even I was getting confused. I'm getting confused. Were we on last Saturday? I don't recall. Maybe Steve was on. Maybe you had a live stream, Steve. Maybe you're secretly live streaming behind my back without me knowing. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So we have just around 3 weeks before we are going off to Italy. We have a big Roman rendezvous. That's what I've called it, by the way, Steve.
The 2 R's.
Do you like that? So last year we had the Paris rendezvous. This year we have the Roman rendezvous.
Oh, I like that, Mr. Duncan.
So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the old ruins and also some of the historical sites as well. Do you see?
It was Wednesday, says
being
Beatrice.
Did you like that, Steve? That was a joke then.
Yes, I got that. Were you referring to the Pope?
No, I was referring to those who were meeting.
I was reading about Italy as well, about tourist sites. We've got to be respectful on the way that we dress to some of the tourist sites.
Okay. Well, I was going to wear my bikini.
Well, yeah, that may not be allowed.
Okay.
What
about my backless thong?
I think particularly maybe the Vatican, probably you have to be careful what you wear.
Well, of course. Well, I think that's the same in any religious building. I mean, even here, you can't really go into a church just wearing a G-string with your budgie holder sticking out. So you couldn't do that here. But I know what you mean. We will have to be respectful. And a lot of people, one of the annoying things that tourists do, and I remember a couple of years ago there was an article about Chinese tourists when they go to other countries. They don't respect their historic monuments. They will climb all over them and take pictures. And in Italy, it is forbidden. So that's one of the other things as well. You have to be very careful. You can't climb up any of the monuments or statues or anything.
Damn, I was thinking of doing that. I thought, there's a monument, whatever it is, I was going to climb up some of the columns in the Colosseum. So I can't do that then, is that what you're saying?
Please don't do that.
Right, okay.
Definitely don't do that. And I will not be wearing my bikini in the Vatican, apparently. So I've been
We
warned.
will be respectful, of course we will. We're joking, but we, of course, would be very respectful.
Christina, Steve, Christina has a birthday on the 29th of May. So that is coming up. I don't think we are on the 29th. Oh, well, let me just check. that is Wednesday. So your birthday is actually on Wednesday the 29th. So I suppose we can say happy birthday next week as your birthday approaches. Christina as well. Hello also to Alessandra is here as well. Yes, sometimes it happens to monuments. Well, I hate it. Now, if you've ever been to Trafalgar Square, you will know there are some large lions, big stone lions, and lots of people climb up onto the lions and they have their pictures taken. And I really don't like that. I think it's very, very disrespectful, and you should not do it.
Christina and Beatrice are very keen to make sure we've got a well-organised trip when we go to Rome, and we've had various texts. And Beatrice sent me one last night, a very long text. I haven't read it yet because I was going to bed. When I've got time, I will read it. But yeah, you are right. We do need to plan. We can get this one ticket that gets you entry to everywhere, but you've still got to plan the time.
Yes.
And what we've got to take into account of is different people are arriving at different dates.
Okay.
So we've got to sort of... Anyway, we'll do that between the group. We'll do that between us. But yes.
I don't think we need to do it right now.
Vatican Colosseum, definitely. Yes. Absolutely, definitely.
Yes, I am up for the Colosseum because I'm looking forward to having a fight with one of the lions.
That's right.
The tourists, you can actually have a virtual fight with a lion. They will release it like a hologram, and you can fight it.
So, yeah, we will definitely be going to the Colosseum and definitely be going to the Vatican. So what we'd like to do, obviously, is try and go round with some of you beautiful Italian people.
You know that the Colosseum is actually, its proper term is amphitheatre. It is a type of amphitheatre. So it's raised around the sides with a central part. And apparently, some people believe it used to be flooded. And they used to have little naval displays with ships and things in the middle. Although some people say that was impossible. It couldn't have happened. But apparently the middle of the Colosseum, which is what it's more formally known as, by the way, it's named after the Colossus. The Colossus. You know Nero? You know Nero, don't you?
Nero, what you mean? Those coffee places, you mean?
Not Nero's.
Oh, right, okay.
Nero.
Well, they're his coffee shops, aren't they?
He had a big statue built, and it was called the Colossus. And eventually, it was. I think it was moved a couple of times, and it was actually right next to the amphitheatre, which then became known as the Colosseum because it was next to the Colossus. Which
There's no point in you going now, Mr. Duncan. You know all about it.
Well, I can still go there. Knowledge doesn't mean you can't walk out of the house.
Maybe you want a job as a tourist guide.
Yes. Well, that's all I know. So the tour would be very short.
We're definitely going to get the pass, Christina. I'm just going to check with the people that organised our holiday first. But there's lots of different passes. There's all different prices.
Steve, this is something we can talk about away from the live stream.
But we can't talk, though. I suppose we could talk. Maybe we could
chat.
Talk
we can
Christina
text.
And Francesca.
Okay, Steve. Please.
I think it would be easier than texting. Talking would be easier than texting. Perhaps we can do a video thing.
There's 70 people there's about 65 people who aren't coming, who are just waiting for the English, you see.
Yeah, but they'll be very interested to see what happens, I would think.
Whatever happened to the big statue? Because apparently it vanished and it was moved to a different place, a different part of Rome.
Perhaps we stole it and it's in the British Museum, Mr. Duncan.
And then it vanished. So a lot of people believe, because they've had lots of earthquakes over time, and apparently that's one of the reasons why the Colosseum, most of it is missing. So the outer wall, the outside wall of the Colosseum is actually missing, most of it. So the wall you can see is actually the inner wall, the inside of the Colosseum.
This is very interesting for the 65 people who aren't going, Mr. Duncan.
But this is general knowledge. This is just general knowledge. So I'm really excited to see that, have a walk around. And also, of course, we will be going to the Vatican or as near as possible that we can get to it. I'm looking forward to having a look at the beautiful Sistine Chapel and all of the beautiful paintings.
Yes, Christina, that's what we're going to do. We're going to organise a chat.
Yes, okay. It is 3:30, Steve. We only have half an hour left of this extravaganza of English teaching and general conversation.
Hi, Pedro.
Today we are looking at confusing words. So this is where we are now putting our own English ability to the test, Mr. Steve. Are you ready? So here we go. Confusing English words. English words that exist in English that may or may not be confusing. For some people they are, and for others they are not. The first one is ooh. Oh, I think these are good. I like these two words. Often confused words. Words that are confused with each other. Even native English speakers will often confuse these two words. The words are lend and borrow. Lend, borrow. To lend, what would you say, Mr. Steve? To lend something is to what?
Yes, to give something to somebody, like money. I'll lend you £100. And it means that you're giving somebody £100 with the anticipation that you will get it back.
Yes.
At some point.
Well,
a bank lends you money and charges you interest because that's how they make money.
Yes. Well, lend is always temporary. You never give something away. You never lend something as a permanent thing. So that is always the understanding that lending is something you are giving to someone, but only for a certain amount of time or with certain conditions attached. And you're right, Steve. Money.
I could give you £100 or I could lend you £100. The difference being if you lend somebody some money or something you're expecting to get it back. I'll lend you my lawnmower. I'll lend you my garden shears. And you are expecting them back at some point.
Yes.
In time.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. But I promise you can have them back later. And then we have borrow. Borrow is the opposite. So think of taking something from a person. So I give you something for a short time. Borrow, of course, is receiving something or taking something for a certain amount of time. Again, so you might say that lend is the active form and borrow is the passive form. So you lend something, you borrow something. But both of those things are temporary. They are for a certain amount of time or with certain conditions.
Yes, you could say, my lawnmower's broken. Can I borrow your lawnmower, please? And the reply might be, yes, I'll lend it to you.
Yes. But it's amazing how many people say, can you borrow me your pen?
They do. They do. It always makes me wince.
Yes.
Ooh. If you wince, ooh, yeah, you're not happy.
So we're not just talking about people learning English. We're also talking about people who speak English as their first language. They will often also get these particular things wrong. So here's another one, Steve. You'll like this one. I know you will like this one. We have eligible and illegible.
Yes.
Eligible and illegible. Those two words are different in many ways. In fact, you might say that they are completely different.
Yeah, they are not related at all. But people often mispronounce these words, particularly eligible. If you are eligible for something, it means that you are entitled to get something based on a number of criteria. It could be age or something like that. Are you eligible for a bus pass? You only become eligible for a free bus pass in the UK once you pass the age of 60.
So we can say that you qualify for that thing.
You qualify. You're eligible to get something. You qualify for it based on a number of criteria. It could be age or health conditions or something like that. But a lot of people get that word confused and say that they are illegible.
Yes.
They mispronounce it. And they should be saying eligible.
So if you are entitled to something or you qualify for something, maybe something that you will now be able to receive, you are eligible.
Like a flu vaccine.
If something is illegible, it means it is unclear. You can't make that thing out. It is unclear. You can't read that thing. It is illegible. It can't be seen. It can't be read. Maybe you write something down on a piece of paper and then the paper gets wet. And now, I don't know what it says. It is illegible. I can't read it.
Your writing is illegible. It means, often they say a doctor's writing is illegible.
Yes.
It's so difficult to read. It's illegible. Whereas eligible, for example, what people often say is, for example, if you reach a certain age, you might be eligible for a flu vaccine. In lots of countries, that is the case. But often people will say that they are illegible when they mean eligible.
Of course, we can also have another thing. If a young man is handsome and maybe he has a good job, and maybe he's looking for someone, maybe a partner, we can say that that man is an eligible bachelor, or he is someone who is there, and if a lady would like to take him out for a meal or to a party or for a weekend in Milan, then yes, he is eligible. An eligible
He's
person.
eligible. That means that he fits a number of criteria that women would like. It could be he's young, he's handsome, he's got a good job, his personality is right. It just means there are, as we've said before, a number of criteria make you eligible for something or entitled to something. And in the case of an eligible bachelor, it means that they have a number of qualities that women would like.
Here's another one, Steve. We've got to move on because we're running out of time.
Pedro says that I'm an eligible guy. You're right about that, but unfortunately I'm taken. Hence the ring. But I'm always up for a little bit on the side, so, you know.
That's what I've heard. By the way, Pedro, you are welcome to him. You are welcome. Here's another one. Two more, Steve. Now, these are brilliant ones. I like these. Very common words that are often confused, or maybe they cause confusion. Affect and effect. Affect and effect. So, when we talk about the word affect, we are saying that something is causing another thing to happen. You affect something to affect a certain thing. So maybe I have some sort of influence over something else. So I affect something else. Maybe Mr. Steve appearing on my live stream will affect the number of people watching, because then it goes up, you see.
Or down.
It goes up when Mr. Steve is here because everyone's waiting for him. So affect. And then we have effect. Well, effect is, of course, the result. So the effect is the result. What do you think, Steve?
Yes. If you affect some, yes. How does the sun affect your skin? There's the sun on your skin. How does it affect you? It causes skin burn.
Yes. So the burning on your skin is the effect.
Is the effect.
That is the result. So affect and effect. The sun
Yes.
is shining. That will affect you. The effect is sunburn. That
What
is
would be the effect of putting weed killer on my lawn? What would be the effect? Well, it would kill the grass off, is how you would use that.
That doesn't sound like a good result.
Effective. If something is effective, that means that it works very well. So you might have a drug that is very effective. It means it works very well.
So we say something is effective, it means it works. It is almost, I would say, it is guaranteed that it will have a positive effect, you see, which is the result. Another one, Steve. Oh, here's a good one. Again, most of these words we can probably describe as being active and passive in the way that one thing is going that way and the other is going that way. And this is a good example. Emigrate and immigrate. Now I know maybe you're thinking the same thing, that immigrate doesn't sound like a real word, but it is. It is. So to emigrate means to go from where you are living. You leave your home, you leave your country and go somewhere else. You emigrate. I tell you what's popular, Steve. A lot of people over the years have emigrated to New Zealand and Australia, a very popular place where lots of people want to live.
Lots of doctors in the UK are emigrating to Australia and New Zealand because they get paid a lot more and the working conditions are better, is what I read recently.
Very nice.
Yes.
And then
emigrating.
we have the opposite, immigrate. Immigrate, of course, is to come in to a country. You come in to a place. You are travelling from one place and you are coming to that place. So we have emigration and immigration. So one is going that way and the other is coming this way. So when you explain it like that, it's quite simple, really.
Immigration is people coming into the country. And there's a lot of talk about illegal immigration at the moment, is there not, on the news from a lot of countries in Europe being affected by immigration. But we won't go into that. But yes, by the way, can I say hello to a new person that I haven't seen before, Sihangia Servgi or Sevgi. I know I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but I want to say hi. You said hi, so I'm saying hi back to you. Welcome. As a little orange.
I think it might be it might be Shingar or Shangia Sevi. Shangia. Hello and welcome. I hope you are enjoying today's live stream.
Palmyra
has
asked a question. If I've seen on a building the word "to let," what does that mean? It just means, yes, you are right. It means that building is you can rent it.
Yes.
You can rent that building.
It is available. It is available to be rented.
Normally used for commercial property. Normally, if it's somewhere for someone to live in, you normally say it's for rent.
Yes.
Normally to let.
Offices.
Offices usually used for that.
Offices, factories, business premises, shops even.
Is when you would use to let in the you often see it on big signs outside a big building.
Yeah.
For commercial purposes usually.
Here we go, Steve, another one. Oh, now this is one a lot of people get confused with. Once again, very different words that look as if they might be connected, and they are, I suppose in some ways they are connected. Empathy and sympathy. So first of all, let's take a look at empathy. Empathy, of course, for many people who feel how another person feels during difficult times or bad times or illness. Maybe you have had an illness in the past and that person, your friend or relative, has the same illness. You will know exactly how they feel. You have empathy. You are literally in that person's situation because you know how they will feel or how they will be feeling at that time. Would you say? Yes, there's quite a distinct difference between those two phrases. Empathy, as you say, it means that you are understanding their situation, their point of view, whereas sympathy, you can be empathic towards somebody, you can understand their point of view, but you don't necessarily have to be sympathetic with them. That means that if you are empathic or showing empathy with somebody, it means you're giving them sort of constructive help. Yes, well, you know how that person feels or what the experience is from your own experience. Yes. Sympathy is just offering some sort of emotion that is there to comfort another person. So the sympathy is given. You don't necessarily have to know how that person is feeling. You are offering your thoughts. You are saying, I'm sorry to hear about your illness. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your family member. You offer sympathy. You are being sympathetic. So very different. So empathy is a much more personal thing. You are feeling that thing. You know how that person feels from your own experience and the way that person is feeling at that time. If somebody's ill, you can give them sympathy. You can say, I hope you get better soon. Oh, it must feel awful. If somebody dies, you can offer sympathy. Empathy often is something where you will not necessarily be emotional about it. You're sort of understanding their point of view and maybe helping them from a practical perspective. Whereas sympathy is you're not really helping them. You're just sort of saying, I'm sorry. Yes, another good way of putting that, of course, is putting yourself in someone else's shoes as well. You put yourself in another person's shoes because you understand how that person feels. Moving on. Oh, yes. Well, Pedro said that. Yes. Telepathy, says Idris. Yes, is similar word, but that means you can read somebody's mind. Thank goodness. Which thankfully isn't a real thing. Thank goodness. I don't know what they would do with Mr. Steve if they could read. I think it would take 3 or 4 different people at the same time to take a look inside Mr. Steve's. They'd go mad very quickly. I think they would. They would need a lot of psychiatric support afterwards. Here's another one, Steve. Flaunt and flout. Ah, yes. Again, they look very similar. They're almost the same, with a couple of changes of letters. Flaunt. To flaunt, Mr. Steve, is to what? Is to show off. Yes. You are showing something. You are letting people see the thing you have, or maybe the thing you can do. Maybe you are a good performer. Maybe you have some nice new clothes and you want to go out and show your friends how cool you are with your new clothes. You flaunt that thing. You flaunt your wealth. If you describe or say to somebody, or you're talking about somebody, or they like to flaunt their wealth, it means that they've got money and they like
everybody to know they've got it
Yes.
by buying flashy cars, gold rings, things like that.
Yes.
They flaunt it, and
That's it.
it's usually often used in a negative way, would you say, Mr. Duncan?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but
no. I'm just
or a
going to-
criticism,
I'm just going to elaborate.
used as a criticism.
In the fashion world, people will flaunt themselves on the catwalk. On the catwalk, I will do my little walk on the catwalk. So flaunt is not necessarily negative, but you are right. It is often used or seen as a negative thing when people are showing off. I hate that. Don't you hate it when people show off
Yes.
with their things?
Alessandra says, is it the same as boast?
I suppose it is in a way, but physically. So physically you are showing that thing. Boast, of course, can be just speaking and talking about things in an exaggerated way.
Yes, if you...
But flaunt is normally visual.
Yes.
You can see it.
It's a similar thing, but as Mr. Duncan says, boasting is if you're talking about yourself. I've got wonderful skin. I've got a fabulous job. Look at my nice new sports car. You're boasting about yourself or your children. Oh, my child. Oh, Christina, the 5A grades in O levels. You know, and you're showing off. I've just come back from Italy on holiday. Oh,
Yes. Here's another one, Steve.
yes.
So we have flaunt, and then we have the other word that is often confused with it, flout. I like that word, by the way, flout. It means to willingly go against something. You flout something. You are doing something regardless of the rules that are in place.
You disregard the rules.
Yes, you flout.
You flout the rules, you disregard the rules. When we go to Italy, into one of the lovely churches there, Mr. Duncan will flout the rules by wearing a bikini.
Yes. I will be walking around the Colosseum in my open back bikini. I might get a nice suntan as well whilst I am there. So flaunt, to put something around, to show off.
Show off your wealth.
And
visually.
And flout is to go against something. You flout something. Quite often, repeatedly, you do it again and again. We are running out of time,
yes,
Steve.
you run your bicycle on the pavement where all the pedestrians are.
Okay.
You're flouting the rules.
We've got to carry on, Steve. Historic and historical. Now, this is a common one that everyone gets wrong. And even though they do look very similar, they have quite different meanings. Something that is historic is something that is worth recording or memorizing, or something that is notable. Maybe a certain building. Maybe it is the first building of that type to be constructed. We can say that it is historic. Maybe an event. Maybe something that happens, Steve, that has never happened before. You might say that all of these people meeting together, it's never happened before. It is historic. Something is historic. It might never happen again.
A historic building. A building that has history. Maybe famous people lived there. Maybe famous things happened there. The Colosseum is a historic building.
Yes, that's a good example.
Yes, if you call that a building.
And then when we are talking about general history, historical, something from the past, general things that happened in history, historical. But something historic is a thing that occurs. It is happening. It is there. It might never happen again, or it only happens every so many years, or maybe never again. So there is the difference there in those two words.
And by the way, yes, you're right, Idris. Flout the rules. You could use the word violate the rules as well.
That's a good one. Yes, violate, to go against that thing. Imply and infer. Now, this is a hard one because I have to say sometimes I don't know what the difference is between these two words because they almost look the same. So if you imply something, you are making a suggestion that something is happening based on your own feelings or thoughts without any proof. You just imply something. You imply that your neighbour has been stealing your vegetables during the night.
Yes.
You have no proof. You can't prove it. You can't say, I have evidence. You're just implying. Not directly. You imply that thing.
Yes, you might say, are you... you might be at the office and you might go up to a colleague and say, are you... I saw you with Jonathan last night in a restaurant. And the other person might say, are you implying that I'm having an affair with Jonathan? No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything. It's the tone of your voice, the way you say something, is how you would use the word imply.
Yes. So infer. What about that word, Steve? So to infer something is to suggest.
Yes, you might have bits of information. What do you infer from? You might make a statement about something and then ask somebody, "What do you infer from this? What do you understand from what I've just said?"
So you have some evidence. You have something there. You have a source, and you can infer something from that. So you have something that is there, tangible. You infer something from that. You gather meaning from a thing that you've seen or something you can show, and maybe you invite other people to infer as well. So
yes, if you saw... yeah, okay.
Hello to my lovely teacher and to you, Mr. Steve. Mohammed Habishi. I haven't seen you for a long time. Have you been busy, I wonder? Here's another one, Steve.
Lewis has given a very good explanation. Imply, you use the word imply if it's not really seen.
Yes.
Is there if it is not seen? Infer is a deduction.
That's it.
You're deducing or making a connection from information.
But quite often with things that you can see or you know. Here we go. Here's another one, Steve. A commonly mistaken word. 2 words here. Breath and breathe. Again, all we've done is added an extra letter at the end, and it makes a whole difference to the word. Breath is, well, it is the thing that comes out of your body as you breathe. Go on, give us another example, Steve. There it is.
You've got bad breath.
It smells like garlic.
Yes.
You have garlic breath.
Garlic breath.
So, breath...
what comes out of your mouth.
Yes. So the air that is expelled from your lungs is your breath. Breath. And then, of course, we have breathe. Breathe, which is the action of drawing in air and expelling air. You breathe.
I'm breathing. Breathing in, breathing out.
It's a good one.
And that is my breath. Hello, Mohammed Al-Habshi, new to the live stream and has called this a pretty live stream. So thank you very much.
Isn't that lovely? Thank you very much as well. So breathe is the action of taking in. You take in air, you process the air in your lungs, and then you expel. You breathe in and out. The breath, of course, is the air it comes out.
Which, in Mr. Duncan's case, smells very strongly of garlic.
Very much. Very strong. And
Yes,
very
Lewis.
much.
Breathe is the noun, breath is the action.
Good. And I think we might have time for
Well, I'm getting hungry, Mr. Duncan.
We have time for one more. We'll do one more then, Steve.
I've got some pointing to do.
Okay, Steve. Well, we're still on time, so don't worry. Here we go. Lay and lie. Now, this is a very controversial one because this gets everyone into trouble, including me. Even in the past, I've been corrected when I've got these wrong. So this is confusing for various reasons. First of all, and the reason why I want to make this clear is because there are some very unusual things about these two words. So when we say lay, we mean place something into position. And when we lie, we recline. Maybe you lie on the bed or you lie down. So lay is place into position. Lie is to actually recline. But there is more.
Yes, can I just use an example? If you want to lay the table, it means you put down the knives and forks and the plates and the condiments. You lay the table. You put things into position on the table. You might lay out a body in the morgue. You place the body in position.
So,
whereas if you're feeling tired, you might say, Mr. Duncan, I'm very tired after this live stream. I'm going to go and lie down.
But
which I often do.
The confusing thing about these two words, Steve, is lay, the past tense of lay, is laid. And that's where the confusion can come in with these two words. So you lay something, you have laid it on the bed. You laid something. You put it down. For an example, a chicken will lay an egg. It has laid an egg. And then, of course, we have lie, recline. The past tense of that is lay, just to make things even more confusing.
It's a confusing one.
So I can see why this one is often confused. So the past tense of lie is lay.
But can I say, instead of I'm going to lie down, can I say I'm going to lay down?
No. You might place yourself into position, but normally it's with an object. So normally it's with a thing itself. Hence, lay the table or lay the things out. So you lie. He is lying on the bed. But of course, you won't say lying on the bed. You will say he is laying on the bed.
But if you say it's to do with the past and present, isn't it?
Yes. Well, yes. It says here on the screen.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. So I can say to you, I'm going for a lie down.
Yes.
Because that's the present tense. That's something I'm going to do. Whereas if you said, if you were looking for me and you couldn't find me, and then you suddenly found me, you could say, where were you, Mr. Steve? I would say, well, I went for a lie down. That's the past. That's correct, isn't it, Mr. Duncan?
I was laying on the bed. I was lying down. So yes.
Yes. It's a confusing one. To be honest, people aren't going to get too confused if you get it wrong.
No. Although the longer we speak might make this more confusing. Even
you could do a whole lesson on this, Mr. Duncan.
It is. Well, that's why I wanted to make sure we're clear on that, Missy, because a lot of people might say, Mr. Duncan, you were wrong, but I wasn't. Anyway.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Oh, that's it, Steve. We've got to wrap up. It's time to go. We are out of here. We've done our 2 hours. We are contractually obliged to do 2 hours, and that's it. we've finished, basically. I can go out now into the garden and run around and chase the butterflies.
And I'm going to repoint some of the brickwork on the steps.
Yes, I think we are very, very aware of that.
And it's going to be hot work, Mr. Duncan, because the sun is shining. Right, lovely to be here, and see you all next week. It's been a great hour and a half for me, 2 hours and 5 minutes for Mr. Duncan.
Good. And we will see you next Sunday, where we will be giving more information about the big Roman rendezvous which is taking place. So lots of information coming next Sunday. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. That's what Steve looks like when he's in the garden. He gets very carried away.
I'm tired.
He said no wonder he is tired. He does put a lot of energy into it. Thank you, Mr. Steve, once again for that. And it is almost time to say goodbye. I can't believe it. Already, it's almost time to say goodbye. I can't believe it. Thank you very much for your company. We have done a lot of things today. We've talked about garlic. We've talked about words that are confusing in the English language. We've talked about Birmingham and why it is not as good as London. We've talked about other things as well, especially when Mr. Steve is chatting with us all. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for being here. It's been ever so nice having your company for the past 2 hours. I will see you again next Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you. And of course, if you like this, give me a like. It would be ever so nice. I will be very pleased to see those lovely thumbs. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care, have fun, stay safe, stay happy, and all that. And of course, ta-ta for now. See you next Sunday.